Alrighty guys, I'm going to try something today. I've seen it done before and have not attempted it, but we're going to take a couple jars of peanut butter and we are going to thin it down with excuse me, thin it down with some water, get it nice and smooth. Then we're going to put it on the trays and get it down in the freezer, and it will be part of the next run on the Blue Alpine. We're looking at, well, peanut butter powder is what we're coming up with. Stuff that you can use to make peanut butter shelf stable for a lot longer than it is in the jar. A lot of times in the jar you notice that the oils and stuff will separate and it's just not appealing anymore. So rather than, you know, let this stuff go to the point where we're not going to use it because it looks bad, we will freeze dry it into a powder that we can either reconstitute into peanut butter for sandwiches, or we can use the powder in the smoothies that Becky likes. I know we were looking at some peanut butter protein powder the other day, and it must be magic because they surely are proud of it. There's one jar. And I'm hoping that when this gets liquefied, some of the oil that's in the peanut butter will, I don't know, maybe separate a bit, and when it freezes, maybe it'll freeze on the top of the surface, and I can take and scoop that out, scrape it off the top before it goes into the freeze dryer, because we know that oil, fats, and so forth don't freeze dry well, and it also affects the amount of time you can have it shelf stable. This stuff will get done and will get put into Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers so that we can maximize the amount of time that it will last on the shelf. Rearrange some of my junk here. Okay. The lighting's not really great here. If I understood what I saw, they want more of a pourable liquid than just a thin, runny peanut butter. So I've added about 1.5 cups of water to that, which probably between the two jars is probably 1 full jar of peanut butter. The expiration date on those is just about a month from now, so I say expiration date, the best use by date, because the expiration date is a bunch of BS. think I'm going to do a little bit more water. It smells really good. Okay, I'm going to call that good. I'm sure you've all been keeping up with what's going on with the situation over there in Iran, and how we've got oil prices are going up because we're not getting the tankers out of the Strait of Hormuz, and now looks like we've got presidents over there doing a blockade, sweeping out the strait for mines, and he's going to get it back open and trying to get things stabilized over there. That in its own, I mean, should get you guys to thinking that, you know what, there are going to be supply line issues. There's going to be situations where prices are just going to go up, 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 and you know, you're just going to have maybe the same income coming in, but the price is going up. You know, you're going to want to make sure that you're not wasting money, you're not throwing food away, and you're putting food up in storage for the possibility of things getting worse than they are, and you don't want to have to rely on somebody else. I really think you all ought to be looking into getting yourself a home freeze dryer. Lots of options out there. You know, obviously my machine of choice is the Blue Alpine. Had great luck with it. Can't say enough good things about those guys over there. There'll be there's a link in the description if you're interested in checking that out. Okay, these are going to go into the freezer. I've got a batch of leftovers in the Blue Alpine right now that won't be done until tomorrow mid-morning, and then obviously it'll be time to clean out the machine, defrost it, clean it out, change the oil, and get it ready for the next one. So this stuff probably will not hit the freeze dryer until, let's say today's Monday, probably Wednesday evening. And then when it's done, take it out, run it through the Ninja, get the powder, and get it put up, and I'll let you know how things turned out. I'll catch you in a bit. And check on the peanut butter run. Pressure's good, 759. Temperature's up. It says we've still got 5.5 hours. But I checked it a few hours ago, and it was all but done. There was a little bit of cold spot on this middle tray of pumpkin that was on the top, so I moved it to the middle, threw everything back in, run it for another 3 hours. I'm going to shut her down now and crack her open and check everything. The volume of product that I ran in this batch was pretty light. We had the 2 trays with the peanut butter, which was the whole reason for the run, and then I figured, okay, well, I can make some pureed pumpkin that I use for the dog's powder. Yeah, that's nice and warm. And take up the other 3 trays to make sure that the operating the machine was as efficient as possible. It wasn't just to see about this whole peanut butter thing. So we've got these out. These are pretty heavy, all things considered. But yeah, I mean, it's freeze dried. There's a little bit of, you can see that there, a little bit of oil that is separated from the peanut butter in the tray there. That's probably why they say that the doggone things don't store well because of the amount of fat in them. But we'll get these set up here real quick. We use the large Ninja here to process the peanut butter because I think the volume is greater than what I have in the pumpkin. A minute. This will be interesting. This will be interesting. It almost feels like shortbread cookies. Now, because of the amount of oil in the product, you're not going to get really long-term storage, just because, over time the oil will tend to, I think rancid is the word. The oil just spoils, goes bad. I don't know if you've ever made brownies or something and grabbed a bottle of oil that's been sitting up in the cabinet for God knows how long, and then after the brownies were done, they just tasted a little off. Well, there was probably nothing wrong with the brownie mix. The oil had gone over. Is it deadly? No, it just tastes bad. Okay, let's get this in here. Look at all the oils that came off of that. It's going to get loud. So that was probably not an OSHA-approved method of processing this peanut butter powder down, but it worked. Let's grab us, let's put it in a bag. I'm going to just, that's a lot. Okay, I'm not going to put an oxygen absorber in this tonight. I will wait until tomorrow after I've tested it and see how it does before I do that. Now, because this pureed pumpkin is just going to go into the puppy powder, it's I've got a video on it if you want to check it out. It's just an additive supplement that I put on the dog's food every morning, just to give them a little extra boost on protein and some of the vitamins and minerals that maybe they don't get from their kibble food. The girls are spoiled rotten, and it's my fault. I take full responsibility, and I wouldn't change a thing. But I have in the past used peanuts as the protein source for the puppy powder, and they love that. So a little bit of peanut butter residue in here mixed with their stuff is not going to bother them. And the other day I did 4 trays of livers, and so I've got that ready to put together. And then I did a tray of kale and a tray of spinach too the other day. I'm surprised the dogs haven't chased me down here. Although if I know Mazikeen, she's already upstairs in the bed waiting for us. This here is a bag of the freeze-dried spinach that I did the other day. This all gets mixed together, and then the protein added to it as well. But I also will be doing some sweet potato to add to this. So I'm not gonna mix it all up right now. That actually smells really good. Okay. So, freeze-dried peanut butter. In theory, it works. We turned peanut butter from the jar into a powder. We did so by adding water to it, mixing it all up to like the consistency of a shake, and putting it on the pans, freezing it, and then running it through the freeze dryer. Now, question is it any good? And we'll find out that tomorrow. So in the meantime, I will call it a night. We'll clean up my dishes, and then tomorrow morning we'll start the video again when we go ahead to take it out of the bag, rehydrate it, and see what it's like. Until then, live long and freeze dry. Okay guys, peanut butter powder day. I'm going to check this stuff out, see how it rehydrates and how it tastes, and see what the texture's like. Put this stuff in the Mylar bag last night, and now we're going to give it a try here. squeeze all the water out. So to squeeze all the air out, set it aside. Got a piece of sourdough bread that I made the day before yesterday. Put it through the toaster, and we're going to put the peanut butter on it once we reconstitute it here. Add a little bit of water. It's a little grainy, but as it absorbs the water back into the peanut, it should smooth out a bit. And you can see I just put a tiny bit of water in there, and it's looking pretty good. I don't believe we're going to get the smooth texture that you would get, or that it was before we took it out of the jars, added the water, and ran it through the Blue Alpine. But you can see it gets creamy there. So there we go. I suppose I could add a little more of the powder to it and make it a little thicker. But let's give it a test. Now if it sucks, well, obviously the dogs are going to have a treat this morning, but I got a feeling it's going to be good. So give it a taste. All the flavors there. Like I said, the only difference I can tell is just the texture of it. It kind of reminds me of, like if you go to Whole Foods or order the organic peanut butter, it doesn't have that same smooth, silky, creamy texture like that we had with the Peter Pan or you get with the Jif. This actually reminds me of the peanut butter I used to get when we were kids, and we would get the government surplus food. Came in a metal jar or metal can that you had to cut the top off, and then, but yeah, it's really good. The peanut butter can be freeze dried. Now, as far as shelf life, I don't know yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bag. I'm going to divvy it up into smaller bags and date them. And then over time, I'm going to open them up and see if there's any degradation in the quality of the product. And you know, that'll be over the next year or so that I'll do that. If I do come up with any issues where I think, okay, if you keep it longer than this, it's no good. If I do, I will let you know. But other than that, we'll close out the video. You can freeze dry peanut butter, and I think the next thing, we'll probably try that in a smoothie tomorrow morning. Until next time, thanks for showing up. Please like, share, subscribe, and I guess there's a button you can hit, or a bell that you can hit, that so that when I get a new video out, you'll get notified of it. And we'll leave you with that. Be well, be safe, and most importantly, live long and freeze dry.